Well, with Halloween right around the corner, it's important to look at different types of horror and some of the most terrifying scenes in all of cinema. And sometimes those scenes come from very unexpected places. I mean, when you go looking for a very fucking horrifying, renowned horror movie, you're likely to get some horror out of it. And there's many types of horror. There's gore porn, there's jump scares, there's all kinds of different types of horror. But sometimes true horror comes from the most unexpected places. And sometimes it comes from in just a way that's just fucking disturbing. So like there's this kids movie. It's like a claymation type movie called The Adventures of Mark Twain. And I think you would stand to agree that most of it is fairly boring. There's some pretty amazing claymation in it, but I mean, there's also a kind of like a story subplot with many deep layers, and it all takes like a psychedelic fucking adventure through some type of trippy claymation universe. This movie's old as fuck from 1985, and it actually has a whole bunch of very, very great relevant points today. But roughly halfway through the movie, there's this scene that is fucking creepy as hell, and it's an absolute work of art. The kids and Mark Twain end up in some kind of magic of elevator or something, and it's all very confusing, but then all of a sudden, things start to get very, very ominous and deep, and you can almost feel it on your fucking chest. It's so intense. And you know, they're going through this portal, so to speak, and oh man, is it ever fucked. It is so awesome, and we're gonna go through it here. It's just like they kind of warp to this kind of other realm, and this really amazing looking figure kind of is born from the earth, which is intense as shit. And it's just really, really off-putting and fucking creepy. I mean, look at his face is like changing and morphing, and it's like you can just tell that there's just an evil, ominous presence to this video. And it's like this video feels almost fucking haunted. It's so weird. Like it just really, 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 really creeps you out. So anyway, the guy kind of like takes and you know shows them that he has all these powers, and he mentions that he's an angel and his name is Satan. So you already know exactly what they're fucking talking about, and it's wildly implied that this is the devil, but not a devil like we would ever have imagined, which is fucking fucked up and so fucking damn trippy. You know, he's using his powers to give the kids fruit. He's doing things like morphing it. He's talking about just very deep things. But it really starts to kick off when he builds a little city full of people. He takes and he like kind of like clay, which is really kind of crazy to think of because they're actually freaking they're actually all made of clay anyway. So the kids start morphing and they make kind of their own little village. And you know, he's looking it over and he's like, let's give them life. And then he just like zaps them to life, which is so weird and trippy to think about. But oh man, does it even get even crazier. So you just get this really deep sense of dread. The music is fucking fantastic, the musical score. And just the weird ominousness of it all is just it's so weighty and it's so good, so damn good, and it creeps you out. It makes you think about it constantly. Your mind always goes back to it. And if I was to think of the most dreadful scene that has just a very creepy vibe to it, there's nothing better than this in the entire world. This is a class act in that. And you know what? The scene is so good that it almost makes the rest of the movie just kind of seem unimportant. It is so wildly disturbing, and especially when I would say that the most weirdest part of it is when he causes the earthquake, and Satan's like breaking everything apart, and the caskets and the coffins. It's really, really, really creepy. It's hard to stomach. Is the true thing of the matter. It's hard to kind of watch over this. It's like that face mask is so weird, and it's just good. It's a good scene. It is truly a work of art. And given the fact that it's like what 40 years old at this point, it's yeah, it is a work of art, and it's horrifying. It's horrifying to think about. It's horrifying to dwell on the fact that someone actually came up with such a disturbed puzzle. Now, many people will point to the fact that this is a kids show, that it was made for kids, and you know what? I kind of have to, maybe they did market it towards kids, but they had to have known with a scene like this, they had to known that they were making something that pertains to this, because many kids are not going to understand the implications and the fears of what this is deeply trying to show. And, it is a scary scene. I would imagine it caused lots of children nightmares, and especially when it goes to the skull mask, Jesus. And then they get all scared and they run away. So you've got a very, very, very terrifying ass scene. Very terrifying. And, it's the whole movie is available on YouTube, linked below it, and it just puts you off. It just the whole scene, and even the way it ends, and it's got like his mask in Mark Twain's eyes. Oh, it's weird. It's really weird. It's weird as shit. It is weird as shit, and it firmly stands to me as one of the most disturbing scenes. And then right after all that weirdness, you get that creepy ass scene with the guy just standing in the hallway. I don't know what the fuck the people were think on when they made this, but I firmly that like what 4 minute clip, 5 minute clip from The Adventures of Mark Twain, 1985. That I would say is probably the most dreadful, ominous, dark, frightening experience of all time. It is so whacked and brilliant that literally nothing else compares. So yeah, if you want some horror, this you've seen it. This I would take it all in. The link below. Most of the movie is just random shit, and just plays off like some psychedelic, crazy fever dream. But that scene alone, amazing, absolutely amazing, stellar art, stellar masterpiece.